What's going on, my friends? It's cold this morning, I tell you. Definitely due for a hot cup of coffee. I've got that. And we're heading down up to the house, and we're gonna get it painted today. Yes, we are. Get it painted. As you saw in the last video, the electrical is done. I got my stair railing done. We've gotten everything primed and ready pretty much for paint. I had to patch a couple of holes where they had to dig for the lights. It happens. But that's what we're going to do today. Today's goal is to get it painted, and once I'm done with that, I bring my flooring in, start laying my flooring down. So getting this done, man, it takes a little while when you're doing it yourself, but it gets done. It really does. So I know a lot of times I'm talking to them in my car. I'm always driving, but I'm going places when I am driving. I'm not just getting in the car to drive to talk. But be it that it may, I'm headed down there to see what we can get done today. It's going to be a little cold, but it'll be all right. I may have said yesterday that Monday, in a couple of days here, day after tomorrow actually, because today's Saturday, I got an electrical and fixtures inspection, and then they call for power to the house. So hopefully this week, if it isn't too wet on my property, the power company can get out there and get power to my house. We'll have heating and air in there, lights, and we'll be off to the races with that. So once we're at that point, we're doing things. The next inspection is the final inspection, certificate of occupancy. So that's going to be up to me getting the flooring done and the trimming and the cabinets and getting the plumber to come in and finish things and getting the shower door installed there and small stuff. I've got to get a wall closet installed in there. I'll probably do that after the certificate of occupancy, after I'm in there, because it's just time for me to go get that and get all that done. I usually have to go to Charlotte to get that done. So be it that it may, unless I find that somewhere else. But I got to do my window blinds. I know pretty much what I'm going to do on that, which is pretty cool. I got my cabinets ordered yesterday. They're going to deliver them Wednesday. So all these things, we're getting them done. One step at a time, folks. One step at a time. All right, folks. The plumber's got the shower wall in. It looks good. There's a few things I have to do when I put my little glass shelves in, when I put the door in. I'm just cutting out all the power boxes and doing the corners. We're getting that done, and I tell you, these plumbers and electrician I hired, the plumbers, it's been fantastic. He was giving me some really cool tips about when I set the sink in on the counter and a lot of cool things. But there's your the shower walls there, man. He got that done. It took him a little bit, but he had to do some research about cutting it, and it so happens that he only needed to use a razor blade to cut it on those Dreamline. So those Dreamline walls, when you cut them to fit, you only have but one shot on that deal. You got to use that razor blade and really good, use a T-square. That's what you use, a good straight edge. And just be careful what you're doing. Use the right adhesive. Do your research on that stuff. If you're unsure, just hire somebody. It really is. So. But he has done drywall for years, and he said, man, for never doing drywall, you did a pretty good job, man. I was like, dude, that made me feel good knowing that at least I could do it. It saved me a couple of $1,000s or more, and I'm okay with that. That's cool. Some people just say, I'm hiring somebody to do it, I'm not doing it. But, I think it's the accomplishment factor on this deal, and just feeling, knowing that, I could do it. It'd be cool. And the experience is always worth it. So, but anyway, let's see if we can get this thing painted, man. Let's get to rocking. Yeah, I probably have paint on my face, but oh well. So I got first coat cut out of everything. It's taken a little while to do. Sorry about the phone now. It's taken a little while, but I've got the first coat cut out here, and I'm ready to start on the second coat because where I started is already dry. Paint goes a lot quicker than primer because it doesn't take long to dry, and it's not sealing and soaking into the drywall. Tell you, this time of the year when the days are short, it makes it a lot harder. I'm finishing up first coat on the ceiling. I had the first coat done on everything. I've double coated all the cutouts, so all I got to do is do a second coat of rolling, and I'm thinking I should be done with this. Because there's some places though I've got to go back and work with, but I can do that as I go along while I'm doing the floors and such. But oh, so back here this morning, it's cold this morning. It's like 32 degrees this morning, but it's going to be warming up this week. But I got this house painted, folks. I have some places I may need to touch up. I know there's one place over here that even if I've got the flooring in, I'm going to lay the plastic down really well and just do it. I've got to do some mud over some edges that shows kind of a seam. It's going to happen. These things are going to happen. That's why I say when you paint, you got to paint. Just don't be afraid of it. And then sometimes you really can pinpoint on these places with the paint, and then you can do that after and touch those places up. So, but it looks good. I'm going to clean some paint spots off these fans and stuff, and I'm going to get all the stuff put back up. The switch plates on. Hold on 1 second. I've got to grab a couple of things. Okay, so I got some switch plates. These look better than the white ones. It's like a nickel plate. I got some of those at Lowe's. Those look good. Also, before I show you the other, let's edit this. Also, before I show you the other, one thing I was thinking about, I had to go buy another, is if you're going to do something like this, you better get about 5 or 6 of these Tyvek suits. Have them on hand. Because between the insulation and other things you're doing and rolling around under the house and drywall, you're going to need Tyvek suits. It's really the thing. Also, I'd get like a utility cutter with some razor blades and have a bunch of those on hand too. But you're going to need a bunch of tools for this, trust me. And I tell you, a lot of the stuff Harbor Freight carries you can use. You're only using it one time unless you're doing it professionally. So, okay, another thing I want to show you is something called, they call them goof plates, but they're plates you put around your pot lights. These are goof plates. A lot of times you cut a 4-inch hole. In the case of my pot lights, there's a pot light plate up there. It's a frame, and it's at 4 inches, and we cut the holes right at the plate. But it just seems like the sheetrock on the edge just kind of comes out just a hair. The way you cut it, the knife isn't perfectly straight. That's what that's for. And this is an amazing invention. As simple as it is, it really looks nice and elegant. And when I put these pot lights back up, they'll go in beautifully. They really will. Little flying saucers here. So we're going to get this place cleaned up. That's my goal here. It's a marathon. It's not a race. I don't see me getting flooring done today, but I tell you, I'm going to get this place cleaned up and I'm going to get the flooring laid out and I'm going to get things started. Like I said the other day, I got my kitchen cabinets ordered over here. They're coming Wednesday. I had to go back to Lowe's. I had to tell them to cancel the bathroom vanity I bought because it was a wrong one, and get another one. And I'll show you why here. Give me 2 seconds. So if you're looking down there where my faucet thing is, right there is my toilet. If I had my drawers on the right hand side, there's no way that would have worked. It would have been too close to the toilet. Your toilet's got to be about 1.5 feet from the vanity. So I've got one that had drawers on the top and everything was open, so I can maneuver that vanity however I need to get it, installed to the wall. So it's the little things, folks. When you're in a tiny house and they do things, and it's a learning process as well. You guys need to know it's a learning process here. Is that when you map out, like I mapped out in the kitchen, I hope that all works out, but you got to kind of convey it to your plumber that this is where this is going to be and the vanity's going this way. I need my water and drain to be over here. So it's hard because, I'm not an architect, but if you're not experienced on how to do it, it's kind of, it's tricky. I can hula hoop around my fingers, folks, with these things. I got a set of 12. I don't need 12, so I might keep one handy for that. And then I might not. I got enough to do as it is. Anyway, let's see what we can get done here. So I've got all my nice switch plates that I wanted to add instead of those typical white most people go with. Well, pretty much all I've done today is just clean up and get ready for flooring. So as you can see, I'm just laying pieces side by side. This is not the way I'm installing it, because number one, you've got about 3 or 4 different patterns on this, and you don't install floor like this. You have to stagger your joints. So I'm just laying them across to try to get a width of what I'm looking at. Good morning, my friends. I am racing down to the house to meet the inspectors and inspect these electrical fixtures and get on with that. Next inspection that we've been waiting for, after a little bit of work it's going to take, is the final inspection. We got to get to the flooring, the trim, the cabinets, and everything else. We got to get that done. We got a few weeks to get that done. So, but anyway, all is well, and we're on the flooring, getting that done. Well, you think you could know and understand everything that needs to get done when you go through these inspections. And I figure it's just when you think everything should be running smoothly, hiccups in the road, little bumps in the road are going to happen. So they did not approve the electrical fixtures inspection for some small stuff. In other words, I didn't know this because I'm not the electrician, but the bedroom outlets in the smoke detector had arc fault breakers. You know, these are the things you have to ask your electrician. I didn't know. But you know, another thing, I didn't know, I wish I would have known this on the electrical inspection. I had to have the address numbers on my house. I'm like, thought that would have been for final, but I didn't even know that they required that to begin with for the inspection of the home. So I'm going to go get the numbers. I got to go get some tape, some yellow tape and stakes to stake off my driveway, so when hopefully we can get them back out there Wednesday morning to re-inspect. Past this Thursday, I can get power to the house. I really want power this weekend. We want to try to get that done Thursday or Friday. But also the outside outlet, the GFCI outlet, was weather sealed, but it had to be marked weather resistant. So they're going to get out there in the morning and get all that done. And I'm hoping they can get out there early in the morning. I stress this, I need this done here. We got to get this done. I need power in this house this weekend, so I can call for inspection first thing Wednesday morning. Hopefully, it took Mark Stewart till almost 1 o'clock to get out there today, but as soon as they get the messaging for the power company, they'll throw it in order and schedule for power. I'm just hoping maybe, because I spoke to the guy with the power company who's the rep in that area. He said, you know, if we get the message today, tomorrow morning we may have you on schedule to get power to your house. I mean, that's how quick they move. But he said at best Wednesday. So now we're looking at Thursday as late as Friday. But key is I would really love power in this house by this weekend, because it may possibly rain Friday, and that's going to really set me back several days more into next week. And I just want to get power so I can get this stuff done. I can see better with things, get it done. I can go ahead and start touching up the paint and doing all that. So soft and lows, they got to be 4 inches, the numbers. So I'm going to get the metal numbers I can screw onto the post and get the 3-digit numbers on there. Get that done at least. And some stuff, and see what we can do here. Get power on this house. That's what we need to do. Got to get power on the house. Yes, we do. Well, we got the numbers on the house. There's number 1. The electrician said that guy will be here today. I was like, I need him here early so I can get this electrical inspection. But he said, go ahead and call it, because he'll be here and definitely get that done. So, but we got the numbers on the house. If they can't see those, I don't know what to say on this deal. But those are 5 inches. Minimum had to be 4 inches. So I think we're good on that. But we know we're doing something when we got the numbers on the house. Getting there. One thing's for sure with this flooring, to get your first row, you got to put some boxes of flooring on that. It's pretty heavy to weight that stuff down so it doesn't move. Key is not to get that to move. So if I can get everything lined up in this first row, I can start moving this way. I'm gonna move those out of the way. Just get all this stuff, start moving this way, and work it all the way down here. Get as much of this room as I can get done. I'm gonna have to work all the way up to here and come around this corner so I know how I'm transitioning into this bathroom, which is gonna be interesting. So, all right, so I'm back at the house this morning again here, waiting for the cabinetry to show up from Lowe's. Just set it over here. And while we're working on the floor, we'll have to move it over. But if you see behind me, I've done the first few rows of this flooring, but I had to stop and I had to lay some planks side by side right here across to see how I transitioned into this bathroom. And it looks like I've got 6 inches to the wall right there, and it goes all the way through. So once I cut this corner and go in, I'll have to be a little, it's where my cheater board will come in right here, where my coming into here and cutting the width of this door. I've got 3.5 inches here, so according to Clancy, he was pretty good at this. He said, go with that 3.5 inches, start your roll in this wall, and come across. All right, well, folks, we're driving again, but we're going somewhere. We're always going somewhere. But anyway, we got approval on the electrical fixtures. We're ready to go. The power company, basically the county, it automatically, once it approves it, it sends the message to the power company to put power to the house automatically. It's pretty cool. And the rep there that I talked to is going to look at the schedule. Hopefully by tomorrow or Friday, we can get power to this house. So I think I'd come out here this evening for a couple hours and do some flooring. We're getting there, but once you get into a groove and you start understanding the little quirks about putting this flooring down, things that you can get debris in the tracks and some stuff you got to check for. I mean, smallest things you don't see. So if it's going down, it just won't go in, and it keeps, both sides won't notch in, or just doesn't want to check for debris, check for obstructions. See if the other rows are lined up. That's all you can do. That's what I'm learning here. You know, I thought these knee pads I bought worked out pretty good because I used them when I was under the house, but I wasn't on hard surfaces. I was on the ground. It was much different. I don't know about these. Well, folks, I just pulled up and it looks like we've got power to the house. Everything's connected over here. There's a meter on the house. And they've managed to get this done. This is wild. I've got to throw out those pieces of wire, but we've got power to the house, folks. That meter's running. Well, folks, we had power. Would you look? Now, interestingly, I didn't realize that the outside breaker was off. I was like, I kicked it on, there was no power. But there was the outside breaker. And we've got, look at that. We got power. This is cool. Now, I gotta go get another battery for that smoke detector. It's about pissed me off the other day because it was running solely on battery. I think the battery's dead, but let's see. I'm hoping that this ceiling fan I was worried about, folks, wouldn't hit the ceiling here, so time's gonna tell on that one, so I'll double check that stuff. The one for the marbles is my AC unit. I gotta kick that on and see if that works. Let me get the batteries in this remote for the AC unit. Mr. Cool, do your thing. This ought to be interesting. Doing this little boot up here. All right, it's opened up. Set off. Pray to God it works. Let's see here. It should work because everything comes out. Everything was self-charged already when it came. Air is coming out of this thing. I'm gonna go out and see if this thing works outside. I'm pretty sure it does. Well, the AC unit's working. The unit outside hasn't kicked on, but I think it takes a little bit for that compressor to kick in. But we got AC, we've got power. Now we need to get the flooring and everything else done. Let's get it done. I will say this stuff it's been easier to put down than I thought, much easier. However, my challenge is yet to come with that in the bathroom, but we'll get there. Well, my purpose was to come in and see about the power and get that running. I did a few rows of the flooring, got that done. I smashed the hell out of my finger, man, with a hammer. I got too gung-ho. If you can see that right there, oh man, that hurts. Like almost like a blood blister, bruise. Hammer went right down on my finger and I was doing that tapping block. Ooh, it hurts. And that's my guitar picking finger too. That's really not good. So No picking up my guitar until this heals. It hurts. God, it heals. I said a few choice words, believe me. God. I tell you, this floodlight, it lights my yard up. Woo! We got electricity, folks. Man, I just pulled up a few minutes ago. There were 4 big deer just standing in my front yard. They're so beautiful deer. They kind of stopped, looked at me. I said, you can hang out as long as y'all want. It's okay. Oh, so cute. Pretty cool. Well, I'm going to work on some flooring and measure some stuff. I got to measure for this trim. We got to get that done. So let's see what we can do, folks. Well, folks, so far I got around the first corner. It was only about 1/4 of an inch, like an L shape. Trim will cover that gap up, as we know, but now I have to transition into this bathroom and then keep on going across to the end. Once I transition into the bathroom, I know where I'm at. Now, the one thing I've learned, and you learn it one time, the direction that you're putting your plank, tongue or groove, when you go to cut the piece at the end of the row, which I've realized that just cut them at the end. What you cut at the end can start the new row in the front, the beginning of the next one or the one thereafter, depending on whether you've got a single or a half, a whole or a half piece. But what you do is you take this piece and you reverse it and have both lips, both grooves facing each other. It's backwards. That way you're cutting it on the right side. The cut side's going to the wall, and you line your tongue side over to where it goes in. I know that wasn't the easiest way of explaining it. That's the way I learned it. Look on YouTube. You'll learn. I tell you, just when I thought I couldn't do it, I got this whole front room done. It's completed. You can pretty much see behind me. Floors are done. Back here, now it's time to transition and get that bathroom done. You know, this flooring is a lot easier than I thought to put in. I never thought it'd be easy to put flooring in, but vinyl plank is easy. It's pretty cool. You just have to understand a few things. I mean, that's the beauty of YouTube and good friends. I know Clancy he's so good at doing this, and he kind of gave me some pointers, and between him and YouTube, we got it. Bathroom is running smooth. I'm already on the third row actually, because the first one was 3 inches. Excuse me, we got 2. So I'm finishing up. I got to cut a piece for the third, and I've got 1 more row, and then my challenge lies about 1.5 inches, 2 inches or so, maybe 3, around here to the shower. After a little precision cutting with the razor blade, she's in there, buddy. Yes, sir. That's how you do it. I get around here and we'll make this happen. I amaze myself sometimes. First time I've ever done flooring. Look at that cut. Folks, make one of those cheater boards if you're going to do vinyl flooring. It works so well. Look at that. I got to continue on around here. Let's see if we can make some progress on that one. Well, folks, the flooring is done. Just got it done. Look at this. I got it all done. Got it all around the shower. I'll tell you what, man, make one of those little cheater boards. It pays off. It helps. This went smoother than I thought. This was probably the easiest task I've done since I've had this house. Hell, insulation didn't go this smooth. But I'm gonna clean up a little bit here, get everything out the way. I got 2 packs left, 2 packs that are going back to Lowe's, so that's good. I thank God for Lowe's return department. So there's $110 back that I wouldn't have spent otherwise. So I'm gonna vacuum up here, get this done. Next, we're gonna put the kitchen cabinets in. I tell you, I'm a little nervous that I'm gonna screw this up. I have to route the back of this kitchen cabinet. Let's hope I don't screw it up. If you might notice, I get nervous about a lot of stuff, and then a lot of times it turns out okay. Of course, it's the one time I'm not nervous that it won't turn out okay. But be that it may. I guess I have a reason to be nervous sometimes if I haven't done it before, but once you do it, you do it. It's not that big a deal. But my biggest concern, the water pipes are not the concern. If you can see it, it's that drain pipe. I've got to route out the back of that cabinet into it so I can get the cabinet against the wall there. All right, so we're back at the house here again today. We're getting cabinetry in. I'm lining them up, trying to get everything done, making sure everything's level. The stud finder I hadn't used in years quit working, so I had to go get another one. I've got to drill a pilot hole in here before I put a screw in the wall on this to get this thing done. But I definitely need to get this thing bolted into the wall and then get it ready. The counter is also looking at today. Not sure if I'm gonna have to get an 8-foot and cut it down, or I can order one. It's butcher block that's 74 inches, right, that I need exactly. Or I can cut it down to 74 inches. I don't want to have to cut it down. I've already got to cut the sink out of it, so I don't want to cut it down if I don't have to, but we'll figure that out. So, with that said, let's see if we can get some cabinets on the wall here today. Well, folks, we got cabinets on the wall. I tell you, that was an ordeal. I had to build with 2x4s a little prop, so to speak, that was 19 inches high exactly with 2x4s and lock them together. It wasn't perfect, but that thing is level. Somehow I got on there level, and I managed to set it on the cabinets on top of that, level it, and bolt it into the wall. So, the things you do to get stuff put on, but we'll put some butcher block countertop, get the sink in there. We're gonna get trim on the bottom all the way around, because that's what you do with these cabinets anyway, you trim around them. And it's gonna be a small kitchen. You gotta think, tiny house, folks. So I'll have that kitchen and 4 or 5 feet of, about 4.5 feet of counter space. That's all I need. Hell, this small of a house, it's just me. And like I say, eventually this would be a guest house. And on the front of my property, if I were to build a lot bigger house later, I could do it, but that'll look pretty cool.